I've been sending cold emails pretty much every single day over the last 4 years now, and having managed campaigns for over 50 different B2B companies and consulted hundreds more in the process, I can tell you with confidence that the way that most of the companies are running outbound these days in 2026 is fundamentally broken. Not because cold email does not work, because clearly it does. We're still booking meetings, closing deals, and growing businesses using it. But what worked in the last year or in the last couple of years does not work anymore, and most people have not caught onto that just yet. So in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what's changed, why most cold email campaigns are getting worse results than before, and the specific adjustments that we have made across our agency clients to keep booking meetings and generating revenue using cold email outreach. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing that everyone needs to understand is that deliverability is not just getting harder with Google and Outlook cracking down on cold emailing, but it's getting exponentially harder. So gone are the times when you can just buy a couple of domains, set up a couple of mailboxes, warm them up for a couple of weeks, and blast out spray and pray emails all over the place. Not only should you be doing that, you should also be testing your inbox placements before you even start your cold outreach campaigns in the first place. Now, if you use a tool like smartlead.ai, on the left-hand side of the panel, you should be able to see the smart delivery option. And over here, you can play around with the inbox placement tests, be it you running a one-off manual test to just assure yourself that your deliverability is on point, or running automatic tests across all future campaigns, as this smart delivery feature tells you exactly how your emails are landing across Outlook, Gmail, and any other providers like SMTP, for instance, before they get sent to your actual leads. In case if something is off with your email copy or maybe your sender reputation, you catch it before you waste your list. Not only that, but on the left-hand side of the panel, inside of Smart Lead, you have the email accounts. So over here, if you look at all the email accounts on the right hand side, you should be able to see the email warm-up reputation, and I very much recommend that you don't stop your warm-ups from the point of view launching your first campaign, but rather you send 15 to 20 cold emails per day from each inbox, and at the same time you send 15 to 20 warm-up emails per day per inbox as well, because that way any sort of cold outreach that we're doing is balanced out by the warm-up emails going out and training those providers to allow us to land into the inbox instead of the junk, promotion and spam folders. Now, the second biggest shift that I've noticed going into 2026 is that segmentation has replaced personalization altogether when it comes to cold email outreach. Now, a couple of years ago, if you just wrote a custom personalized first liner for the prospect, that was really impressive. It stood out because very few people were actually doing that. However, let's be real, today AI personalization is just a baseline. All of us have once been pitched these random AI SDRs that are trained on SEO blogs and write really cringe opening lines to cold emails. And out of the 5 to 10 cold emails that I receive per day inside of my inbox, 1 or 2 of them at least on a daily basis have some sort of cringe, non-relevant AI generated first line. Something like, "Hey Tim, I saw you posted on LinkedIn about AI." And it's just like, well done, you've scraped my post. Not relevant, not really impressive, any idiot can do it. And the challenge with using AI to generate every single first liner is that it just becomes super robotic, and all of these first liners tend to read the same way. Now, enough moaning from me about AI personalization of first liners. Let me just overshare what we have been doing instead in 95% of our campaigns. And this is what I recommend for you to walk away and actually try out for yourself. We use what I refer to as segmented personalization. Instead of trying to write a custom line for each prospect, we build a very specific list where our message is equally relevant for each individual prospect on the list. That way, the first line is not tailored to one specific person's profile, but it's personalized to who they are, their company size, their title, the pain points that they're going through, their status quo, and how they're craving your solution right now. And I know what you're thinking. Sounds really good on paper. Just show us some examples of how to pull this off. So here we are. I'll share the 3 segmentation tactics that we use in order to segment any lead list. The first thing that we do is we choose a segmentation method, which combines 1, 2, or 3 of these 5 segmentations together. So first of all, we'll look at sub-industries. So what I mean by that, let's take an example of you targeting the financial services space. We break it down into sub-industries. So for example, you could have private banking, wealth management, fintech, physical banks, being the sub-industries. That's the first way that we would segment the list, and we will make sure that we're segmenting it from the bigger industry that you find inside of a tool like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and we basically segment it into a sub-industry. The next thing we do is we then separate it based on company sizes. So for instance, you could separate those companies into one-man bands, small, medium businesses of 10 to 50 employees, startups that raised funding, and any sort of other bigger segments as well. And of course, more than that, you can also add the geographies. So if you're targeting the American market, you could break it down per state. You can also break it down per region as well, as I'm sure you're aware of that as well. And more than that, you can segment based on the customer stage and maturity. So for example, breaking down the list between bootstrap startups and VC-backed startups, because most of the time when companies are VC-backed, it's all about growth. It's all about hitting that next milestone, as opposed to with bootstrap startups, it being about how you can be frugal, how you can optimize the costs, how you can streamline operations and grow at the same time. So the messaging can adapt naturally to that. And the fifth way that we would segment that same list would be based on the problems that are solved. So for example, if we're selling a financial services product, chances are our main ideal clients will have some sort of headaches to do with transaction fees, exchange rates, payout periods, multi-entity reporting. And just by segmenting based on these 5 things, you can already hypothesize some different campaigns that you could be running. So one campaign can be something to do with you targeting pre-seed to Series A startups that raise from $0 to $3 million, who are based in the US and UK markets. And I'm sure you see the value already. And by the way, you can get access to this visual representation of everything that I'm talking about. It'll be the second link in the description down below, so go check it out. So just by segmenting your total addressable market across these 5 different segmentation types, you can arrive at a couple of campaign ideas. So one campaign may be you targeting the fintech sub-industry, so payment infrastructure, neobanks, and embedded finance companies. These could be customer sizes of 20 to 150 employees across the UK, Netherlands, and Germany. And in this case, you're going after VC-backed Series A to Series C startups. And our hypothesis when reaching out to them is that typically at this stage in their maturity and where they're at in their business, they will always be frustrated with their high transaction fees and payment routing inefficiencies. And of course, I can go down a rabbit hole and show you how we can create multiple different campaign ideas on the back of that. But before I get carried away, let me just continue with this, because after you segment your total addressable market across these 5 different parameters, it's then time to match the segment to a specific persona. So in the example of you going after the education industry, you could then segment it into different personas. So if you break down the education industry, for instance, in K-12 schools, most likely your decision makers will be the principals. In higher education, it will be dean of admissions, as well as in test prep companies, chances are it will be the dean of admissions as well. And if we're selling more to big firms that have corporate L&D, learning and development departments, in that case, our persona will be the chief of staff or the head of HR. And the main idea is not only to segment your total addressable market as I've just showed, but also to then break down those segments and connect those segments to the relevant persona that you're reaching out to across each segment. And that already creates infinite different campaign ideas. And as I just mentioned, if you want to go down that rabbit hole and spend half an hour just brainstorming how you could segment your lists better, it will be the second link in the description down below, alongside a 20-minute video, which I have pre-recorded already, which walks you through how to actually go about segmenting all of those lead lists. Now, of course, there are 2 levels of segmentation that we use: contact level and company level segmentation. Contact level segmentation is when we build a lead list based on shared attributes between you as the person doing the cold outreach and the recipients, aka the prospect. And this works because people naturally like to buy from people that are like them. And this is what I refer to as the resonance campaigns. So if you're inside of some sort of lead database like AI Arc, for instance, if you head into the people search on the left-hand side of the panel, you can create all of those resonance campaigns just by applying a simple filter. So for example, if I used to work at McKinsey before, I can literally head into the current and past company filter inside of the AI Arc lead database, and where it says past company, I'm just going to type in McKinsey, and straight away, voila, you have a list of over 110,000 people that used to work at McKinsey. And on top of that, you can then apply your relevant filters to make sure that they also meet the rest of your ICP persona requirements. Now, let's imagine for a second that you're selling CX related services, and in this case, you want to reach out to founders that have a CX background. In this case, it's pretty straightforward as well. We can just go into the job role, make sure that the previous job over here includes something to do with CX. So we can just type it in over here. And then their current job we can type in is a founder. And now we have found a lot of leads that we can reach out to. We can call them out on how we notice that they have a background in CX and customer experience, and how we can see that they're a first-time founder or a second-time founder. And typically this is the kind of problems that they will face as they try to balance out all of the other departments whilst still making sure that the customer experience is good. That's just an example of how we could segment the list there. And there are infinite different ideas for how you could run those resonance campaigns. So for example, let's say our hypothesis when we run a campaign is that our offer is most interesting for project managers. In that case, it may be good to go after anyone with a Prince certification. And over here, if I type in Prince in the certifications inside of AI Arc, and I select the job role to be project managers, I can build a lead list super fast, which is relatively segmented already. And we can already reach out to a list of project managers, tell them how we noticed that they have a Prince 2 qualification, which is a really cool qualification that a lot of project managers aspire to obtain. And we can then lean into our offer, scan for any sort of headaches or problems that the prospects have, and then close our email with a call to action. And just to reinforce, we've done this for startups with no social proof, no case studies, just reaching out to their ICP to share some sort of past experience with them or anything else that we can call them out on inside of what we refer to as resonance campaigns. The point is, this level of resonance does a lot more for your campaign results than AI personalization and any fancy AI first liner that any other guru will tell you about in LinkedIn post. And it also helps with deliverability, because when your email is actually relevant, the lead list is segmented, the chances are people are naturally going to be more inclined to reply to it because they can see that you're trying and that you're not just trying to spam the hell out of them. So really quickly, if you are trying to A/B test different campaign ideas, let me show you how you can pull this off inside of Smart Lead. So in this case, all you need to do is head into the email campaigns tab on the left-hand side of the screen, click on create campaign, and over here you can just import your lead list. So you can drag and drop your lead list in a CSV file over here, and then click into sequences. And over here, let's say this is your email one, we can then click on add variant, and this will enable us to A/B test different types of emails. So in this case, you can test the subject line. So you can just type in the subject line here, and then you can also A/B test it against another subject line so that you can really get those 1% wins when it comes to your email copy. And then on top of that, of course, you can have multiple steps within the campaign. So you can always click on add step and either add an email or some sort of other manual step, like setting a task, a reminder, a call task, or something of that sort. And by the way, if you want to test out any of these tactics with a generous free trial offer that gives you access to both leads and the ability to send cold emails at scale, then do me a massive favor, go click that top link in the description down below, which will enable you to redeem a free trial of Smart Lead. And one other thing that I can't stress enough, doing cold emails is great on its own. However, I would also recommend that whenever you build out any sort of campaigns or sequences, you also add some tasks to call the prospects. And if you're wondering where you can get mobile numbers from, I very much recommend tools like Better Contact that will enable you to find the verified mobile numbers of most of the prospects that you enroll in Smart Lead campaigns. And that way you can just set a manual follow-up task to actually call the prospects at the same time, because a lot of people right now are just sending cold emails, cold LinkedIn messages, but you're more likely to get disproportionately good results by actually getting on the phone and calling the prospects in the first place. And one final golden nugget that I want to leave you on right now is specifically applicable to smaller total addressable markets. So in other words, if you don't have millions of prospects in your total addressable market, I highly recommend that you consider some sort of personalized physical gifting or personalized letter writing services. For example, there is this tool that we've tried for a client recently, and our client was blown away by the results so far. And they're selling into very much brick and mortar local businesses kind of audiences. And we found a really good success with using a platform called Sendoso in order to send personalized gifts to some of the ICP prospects. And no, I'm not suggesting to send gifts to like entry-level or mid-level employees, but rather having such a highly personalized approach for your top tier accounts and your top tier ICP decision makers, for who you will stay top of mind after sending them a handwritten note or some sort of personalized gift. So if you want to start applying everything that I've shared throughout this video, whether that's just simply testing your deliverability before you send your emails, whether that's running segmented outbound campaigns, or building out multi-channel sequences, Smart Lead enables enables you to do all of that in just one place. So as I mentioned earlier, just go do me a favor, go click that top link in the description down below. That will redeem an extended, yes, you heard that right, extended 14-day free trial of SmartLead with no credit card required. Can you believe that? Again, it's the top link in the description down below. And if you want to see how you can find unlimited leads using AI, we have a full breakdown on that. Just click right here and you should be able to check it out in your own time. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video.